Hello and welcome back everyone. It is officially race 1 of my rookie season at AMP Karting. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this racing format, we're going to kick it off with a 6-minute qualifying session where the goal is to set the fastest lap time so that you can start at the front of the grid. And then they're going to bring us over to a pre-final race, and that's a 8-lap race, and then the finishing order of the pre-final race is the starting order for the final race. And then the final race is where you earn points. The person with the most points at the end of the season will be crowned champion. So let's go ahead and jump right into our qualifying session here. Alright, so here we are, my first flying lap of qualifying, coming out of turn 1 down the back straight here. Not a lot of cars around us, so we might be able to put in a good clean lap here. So approaching turn 5 and 6, I nail my braking point, perfectly hit the apex and the curb there, and then hit the apex out of turn 6. Coming to the top of the hill here, we caught the 24 just a bit, so I do have to slow down just a touch to give him some space. Completing our first flying lap, we are now very close to the 24. At this point, I should have checked behind me and gave him some space, but considering this is my first time doing something like this, I kind of just treated it like a public karting session, which I definitely should not have. So I definitely should have just let the 24 gain a little bit of space on me and then put in another flying lap. So after passing the 24, we're just going to try to put in another clean lap here. Make the most out of the clean air that we have. So coming out of turn 1 there, down the back straight, I made a huge mistake. Lost the rear, hit the curb. This is not a good place to make a mistake because you need the most speed that you can carry coming down the back straight there. And then coming into turn 5 here, I make a huge mistake, brake way too late, go deep, and then I get overtaken by the 23. Alright, starting another flyer here, coming around turn 1. We get a decent exit out of that corner this time, so we carry a lot of speed down the back straight. We're starting to catch the 23 a bit here, and again, like the 24 earlier in the session, I definitely should have backed off and given him some space. I think we have a big enough gap here to where it's not affecting my lap time. I'm not sure why the 23 is fighting the 25 here coming up the hill. So he does bump him and spin him right there. Not ideal for any of us there. And then once again, I get very close to the 23. Should have backed off, given him some space, but this ended up costing me in the rest of qualifying because I stayed behind this 23 the entire time. I ended up putting in like a mid 52 second lap time for qualifying as my fastest, which is really bad because in practice I would put in, I don't know, like mid 51s consistently. So this was not a good showing for me, and definitely something I should take note of coming into race 2 to give people around me more space so that I have clean air to put in a good quality. We're just going to go ahead and jump into the pre-final race now.
Alright, we are in formation for...
Okay, here we are lined up in P7 for the pre-final race. At this moment in time, I am extremely nervous because this is my first ever wheel-to-wheel race. But I'm just going to focus on trying to get a good start off the line here. So the marshal waves the green flag and we are off. I try to dive to the inside here but get blocked kind of by a cart. I get to the inside of the number 10 and take the inside line coming into turn 5. But the number 10 dives back to the inside and takes turn 6, pushes me wide on turn 7, which loses me a lot of momentum, and I'm overtaken by 2 carts here coming into turn 9.
That number 10 lost me a lot of...
Okay, so at the top of the hill, the 33 makes a mistake and locks his rears, and so in turn he is under a lot of pressure from me and the number 6. he makes a mistake at the bottom of the hill, so the number 6 and I are able to get past the 33 there, and I'm able to carry a lot of momentum coming up the hill. So I'm closing in on this number 10 cart, but he defends the inside line, so I'm not able to hit the apex at turn 1. Coming into turn 5, the number 6 cart brakes a lot sooner than I thought he would. So instead of slamming on the brakes and losing my rears, I have to dive to his inside. But in doing so, I bump him out of the way, and I get a warning from the corner marshal there. But I think I did the right thing there. I didn't want to lose the rears, but the number 6 ended up getting his position back anyways at the top of the hill, so it doesn't really matter that much. Fast forwarding here, coming out of turn 1, I get a good exit, and I'm still behind the number 6 cart. So we're just going to try to tuck in behind him and see if we can gain any ground coming into turn 5. So I'm able to nail turn 5 and turn 6 and make up a lot of ground on the number 6 cart here. I'm essentially on his bumper, but there's not a lot of overtaking opportunities right here, so I'm just going to try to stay as close as I can. So I lose a little bit of ground in the middle sector there, but coming out of turn 1, I get a really good exit, and we're just going to try to push the number 6 cart through this straight. In hindsight, I definitely think that I should have used my speed to try to get around the 6 instead of bump drafting him, because the other carts are really far ahead, and I know that I'm much faster around turn 5 and 6. As you can see here, turn 6, I try to go to the inside there, but he cuts me off and I lose a ton of momentum. We're going to cut forward here again, coming back into turn 5 and 6. The number 4 cart has joined the battle. He's able to get down the inside of the number 6 there. I thought it was a pretty clean move, but you can see the number 6 complains here about that overtake, but I thought it was a pretty clean move. So we're going to chase the number 6 up the hill here. He brakes a lot sooner than I think again, and then I bump into the back of him, so I have to apologize there. But for the rest of this race, I didn't get much done. No overtakes, didn't get overtaken. We ended up finishing in P8, which means we lost 1 overall position, and we're going to start in P8 for the final race. So let's see if we can make up any ground in the final race to earn some good points. Okay, we have made it to the final race. We are here lined up in P8. I know what to expect now because of that pre-final race, so we're just waiting for the marshal to count us in. Green flag, and we are off. This time I try to take the outside line instead of diving to the inside. I get a okay start, but there are some carts that had a better start, so I get taken up the inside here. I have to go wide, but I'm able to dive back in the inside here. Coming into corner 8, I get bumped from behind and almost spin out, but I was able to save the cart, so that was good. And here we are now at the top of the hill. I take a wide line here, just trying to play everything safe, leave room just in case someone dive bombs me. I get a decent exit out of the turn at the bottom of the hill, but there is a cart to my right. I'm checking to my right just to make sure I am far enough ahead to squeeze him to the outside. I have a decent line through there, lose the rears just a bit to where the number 30 can overtake me, but this cart that I had a really good straight line speed, so I was able to take that position back from the 30 and pressure the number 9. Coming into turn 5, the number 9 makes a huge mistake and spins, but I'm able to avoid it, so we get out of that pretty cleanly. So skipping ahead here, coming down the straight again, I'm coming into turn 5, and I'm making a mental note here that I'm faster than the 24 through turns 5 and 6. And here we are on the next lap. I noticed that the 24 caught 33, and they're just going to fight it out. So I'm just going to focus on my line through turn 1 there and let them fight it out. So they can't go too wide through that chicane. I'm able to use the top speed of the kart and get around both of them. But here's where I got into my head, and I brake super duper late, send it really deep into turn 5 and 6, and they're able to get back in front of me. Alright, we're skipping ahead again to the end of that lap. Once again, I'm using the great top speed that I have in this kart to get around the 24 and the 33. This time I brake a little bit earlier, but I turn in way too early and clip that curb and just unsettle the kart. And the 33 and the 24 are able to overtake me once again. And at this point, I'm very frustrated because I'm just getting in my own head. I know that I'm fast through that corner and fast down the straight. So on the next lap, I wasn't able to get close enough to the 33 and the 24 to overtake them, but the 33 was able to overtake the 24. So they're still locked in a battle here. The 30 from earlier is able to catch us, and now he takes me on the inside there. So I'm just going to try to stay close, and now we are locked in a 4-way battle in this race. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep my head low and focus on my racing lines and trying to stay close. Rounding turn 1 now, I'm able to keep it really close. I know I have good top speed, but off to the right hand side, I noticed there's a kart, and then the marshal comes out with a red flag on the left there. Honestly, you're supposed to stop exactly where you are during a red flag, but I saw that everyone in front was going and raising their hands, signaling they're slowing down and not racing anymore. So I thought during this race, a red flag meant you come back into the pits. So here you can see the four of us plus number 9. I don't know why he cut up the inside of me there, but we all come into the pits because we saw the red flag. In hindsight, I should have just kept going, because if you don't see any of the other marshals waving a red flag, then I guess that means the track's clear. I look to my left and I see 2 other carts going, and I'm just so confused at this point because I don't know what is happening. Here's one of the marshals just waving us through the pits there, and we get back to racing. We lost so much time and so many positions due to that red flag confusion there. Yeah, I'm just frustrated at this point, but I can't let that stuff like that affect me. So we're just gonna go ahead and race on here. Okay, coming to the top of the hill, I'm able to put some pressure on the number 9, so he makes a mistake and spins out. I'm able to get through there cleanly. Alright, now we are back here. We are locked in a 6-way battle now. Coming down to the bottom of the hill, everyone gets through pretty cleanly. I am just trying to charge up and get closer to this pack. The 33 has slow momentum coming up the hill. He goes very wide to the outside, so I try diving to the inside, but he cuts me off there. The corner marshal is waving the 1 lap left flag, but it is a checkered flag for some reason, and this being my first season, I was very confused. I thought we were done racing. So I had to let off my throttle there, and I was overtaken by another kart. But coming through 5 and 6 here, I notice everyone's still racing, so I try to get back up to racing speed and try to fight back for some positions. So once again, I get taken up the inside of that corner again by the 17. 3 karts spin out. I thought I was clear, but at the very last second, they hit me and I could not recover in time. So I'm stuck behind all these karts and get overtaken by the 30. It's just complete disaster ever since that red flag came out. And at this point, I'm just shaking my head. I can't believe what's going on. And here's the marshal waving that checkered flag, signaling the race is over. And yeah, not a good race for me. A lot of rookie mistakes, a lot of things that logistically I didn't understand in the race, but you know, I'm just gonna put that behind me. We finished in P9, which I think equates to like 90 points or something like that. But out of the 4 races this season, only your top 3 count. So we're just gonna mark this down as a fluke and a good learning experience. So next week when we hit the track, I'm gonna use everything that I learned from this session, like leaving space in qualifying, learning that the pre-final race actually matters because it sets the grid for the final race, and learning the flags. That red flag incident was just not great, but you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back next week for race number 2, and let's try to earn some much better points.